Yes, yes.
Yeah, she admitted that that wasn't true, or she said that she didn't. So I mean, that's a lie, and quite an important one too. And we just know that no one's isolated a virus for HIV. No one has done it. So we knew that that was untrue anyway. But then she also made in that an amazing statement where she said she taught the Ebola virus to infect people, which I just thought was amazingly stupid thing to say. I have to say, I mean, that's one is why would you do it even if you could, and which is an impossible thing to do. But this is the sort of thing she was putting out, and of course, she's a virologist, so she believes that viruses infect people anyway, which again is an unfounded science. So. She believes viruses are pathogens.
But she develops vaccines, so that might give you a clue.
But, she's hailed by many people as being some sort of hero, and yet she's making completely untrue and contradictory statements, which is going to lead a lot of people astray. And it's unfortunate that the video has been sort of so widespread, and it's one of those dangerous things. And I start to question what the reason is behind Judy Mikovits. What is she's doing? I know some people might say maybe she's controlled opposition. I'm sure you're familiar with that term.
Indeed.
And I think that that could well be true. So I just thought I'd mention that because it's quite popular in doing the rounds at the moment.
Dr. Kaufman, question. I know you were out of the room for a moment.
Yeah, well, I have a few things to say. One is I'm glad that there are some lawsuits coming forward, but I don't think that that's really the solution, because I don't trust that the court system is going to uphold any justice. And in my personal life, I've been involved in many court cases as an expert witness, and I haven't really seen justice be at the top of the priority list. So I think the way to go is that we simply decide that we are not following these mandates, and we're going to uphold our own inalienable freedoms and rights, and we should go out there and behave as we normally do. And I think that's the way to change this situation, that if we ask for permission or approval from the government authorities, it will not be forthcoming, and it also shows our willingness to comply with whatever they ask of us.
I agree with you entirely. I mean, I often say, and your country is the same as ours, we have a legal system, we don't have a justice system. They are two different things. And like you, we've seen miscarriages of justice, if you like. And we have to remember, the judicial system, certainly in the UK, I'm sure it's the same in America, they're part of the establishment. Judges are appointed by the government. So, where are their allegiances going to be? They're going to be to the government. So you're not necessarily going to get justice, but at least it's a sign of someone trying to do something to bring into question what the government's done, which is totally illegal. So if nothing else, it might wake a few people up if they see that there's government action. But again, even though this is quite a major thing when a law firm takes the government to task, and yet over here, the British Broadcasting Corporation, you don't see anything about it, and it's not a major issue. You don't really see it in any of the newspapers. And again, that's got to tell you something, and it certainly shows you how complicit the mainstream media is in just keeping this knowledge from people. I think it would be very surprising for the majority of people, and would help wake some up if they realised that a major law firm in London was taking the government to task for acting illegally. That alone ought to shake a few people up. But of course, for that reason, it doesn't get reported in the mainstream media.
Absolutely. Well, the mainstream media is essentially an intelligence operation, so they're not going to, work in our favor in any way. And also, I think you were talking a little bit about some other medical experts and some of the things they're saying. And I don't know if you touched on this, but I'm very concerned about this claim of some kind of manufactured biological weapon.
Yes.
Because, one is that I'm sure the government is putting research in trying to develop such things, right? But there's absolutely no evidence of anything deployed in this situation, because if it were, then we would see people, who are ill and dying from it. And I think that it's very dangerous to talk about some such thing being out there, because one is, if you were scared of a wild virus and you believed in that, well, then an engineered, weaponized virus is much, much scarier. So this is basically a way to keep people afraid and perpetuate the fear. And then, of course, it keeps the same dogma about viruses alive,
exactly.
right? That there are viruses that can cause disease. Now, if the government wants